AITA for telling my dad and stepmom that she will never replace my mom after they tried to include her in every tradition I had with my mom. My parents were married for about 20 years before my mom passed away. She died 5 years ago for breast cancer. I was 11 at the time. My dad was devastated. I was devastated. Our whole world just kind of fell apart for a long time. My mom was the type of person who created little rituals and traditions that made everyday life feel special. On the last Sunday of every month, we'd go to this little diner in town for ridiculous, sugary pancakes. She'd always get extra chocolate chips. My dad stuck to syrup, and I'd go all out with ice cream. It was our treat day. On birthdays, whoever wasn't the birthday person would wake up early and make a special breakfast for the other. It was never fancy, just pancakes or waffles with whipped cream and maybe fruit, but it was something that felt sacred because we always did it. Every Mother's Day, my mom and I would go volunteer together at the animal shelter. She said giving time and love was more important than flowers. Those things, among others, became part of how I remembered her after she was gone. They were like little lifelines to her memory. My dad and I kept up some of them, like the pancake Sundays after she died. It was painful, but also comforting. For the first few years after her death, it was just me and Dad. He didn't date anyone that I knew of. We went to therapy for a while. He was quiet, sat a lot, but also tried to hold it together for me. Last year, when I was 15, Dad started dating again. He met a woman named Kelly. She's in her early 40s, I think. They got serious pretty quickly, and by the end of the year, they were married. I knew this would be a big adjustment, but I didn't expect just how much it would shake me. At first, it was little things. Dad started taking Kelly to restaurants or places that used to be special to him and Mom, like the Italian place they went to for anniversaries, or the hiking trail where they spread part of her ashes. Seeing him do that was weird. It felt disrespectful, like he was repainting memories that I wanted to keep connected only to my mom. But I kept that to myself. I told my therapist once or twice, but I didn't say it to Dad. I figured he deserved to move on. Then, a few months later, Dad invited Kelly to join us when we celebrated my mom's birthday. Every year since she died, we've gone to the cemetery with flowers, then eaten dinner at her favorite diner. It's a sad day, but an important one. Dad said Kelly should come with us. I told him I didn't feel comfortable with that. He brushed me off and said, "I need her there. You'll need to find a way to tolerate it. Think of it as a good thing that she can be included." That was the first time I spoke up, but he didn't back down. He framed it like I was the problem for not being welcoming. It stung. After they got married, Kelly started showing up for pancake Sundays. The first time, I thought maybe she just wanted to tag along. But when I asked Dad if we could keep it just us, Kelly jumped in and said, "Oh, I was really looking forward to this. It's such a sweet tradition. Family traditions should be shared." And my dad agreed. Kelly's family now. This is something we can all do together. I wanted to scream. To me, those pancakes weren't just fun family time. They were a thread to my mom. But I swallowed it, sat there with my pancakes and tried not to cry. Afterward, I told Dad again that I'd prefer if it was just us, and he told me I needed to stop being selfish. Then came Mother's Day. Every year, I used to volunteer with my mom. After she died, I skipped it, but this year Kelly tried to sign us up to volunteer together. She said she wanted to step into that role for me. I flat out refused. She cried. My dad looked furious, and I ended up not doing anything at all. That was awkward as hell. The biggest blow was when Dad suggested we go back to our old family vacation spot, the one we haven't been to since Mom died. I told him I wasn't ready. He said we'd go as a new family, and it would be healing. I felt the opposite. It felt like overriding old memories with new ones, like they were replacing Mom's presence with Kelly's. Again, I didn't win that argument. 3 weeks ago was Kelly's birthday. Dad woke me up early and told me he wanted us to make her a special breakfast, just like the ones Mom used to make for me and him. I stared at him like he had 3 heads. That tradition was sacred between me, Dad, and Mom. Bringing Kelly into it felt like betrayal. I told him no fucking way. He snapped back. Watch your language. This is important. Kelly deserves to feel celebrated in this family. And I just lost it. I told him, "You want to replace Mom. You're taking everything special we did with her and just slapping Kelly's name on it, like she's Mom now. She's not. She'll never be. And if this is what moving on looks like, I wish you never did." My voice cracked, I was crying, and I didn't even care. Kelly came out of their room, saw us fighting, and started crying too. She ran back into the room. My dad looked like he was about to explode. I slammed my door in his face and stayed there the whole day. He kept telling me to come out and apologize, that it was Kelly's birthday, that I needed to make it special for her. I refused. I literally didn't leave my room. A couple of days later, Dad sat me down. He said my reaction was not okay, that it was selfish and mean. He said Kelly has done nothing wrong, and I'm refusing to give her a chance. I told him I don't want to do any of those old traditions with her ever again. He told me again, she's your family now. I shot back. She might be your family, but she's never going to be mine. Later, Kelly tried to talk to me. She said she only wanted to help me feel like someone was filling in for Mom. She said she thought stepping into those traditions would comfort me. I told her I never wanted that, and that she pushed it anyway. She admitted she didn't want to feel less than in her own family. And I told her, "You'll always be less than." That was harsh, I know, but it was what I felt in that moment. Dad grounded me for a few days for refusing to apologize and for what he called disrespecting Kelly. I still haven't apologized. I don't regret standing up for myself, but I do feel guilty about how much I hurt Kelly. Here's the thing, I don't hate Kelly. I don't want to be cruel to her. She's not an evil stepmother stereotype. She seems like a nice enough person, and she clearly loves my dad. But to me, she's an outsider. She's not my mom. She never will be. When she joins in on the traditions, it doesn't feel like honoring mom's memory. It feels like they're erasing her and writing over everything that made her special. I feel like I'm losing mom twice. Once when she died, and again when dad tries to shoehorn Kelly into her role. I know I could have handled myself better during the birthday fight. I know saying, "I wish you never moved on," and "you'll always be less than" was cruel. But I also feel like I was cornered. Every time I try to set a boundary, dad ignores it. Every time I try to keep something sacred, he tells me I'm selfish. I feel like I'm screaming into the void. Reactions from others. Dad's side. Obviously, dad thinks I'm completely in the wrong. He says I should be grateful. He found someone who wants to love me. He says I'm being immature, selfish, and cruel to Kelly, who's only trying. He keeps reminding me that she's his wife, therefore my family. Kelly's side. She hasn't been openly hostile, but she's hurt. She told me she cried for days after I said she'd always be less than. She insists she just wants to support me, but she also admitted she wants to feel equal to my mom in this family. That honestly makes me angry, because that feels impossible and inappropriate. My therapist, I see her once a month. She tells me it's valid to feel protective over my mom's memory. She also says my dad and Kelly might not understand how important boundaries are for me right now. She wants me to express myself without attacking language. I'm trying, but it's hard. Friends, I told a couple of close friends. They were shocked that my dad tried to make Kelly join in on the birthday breakfast tradition. One said, "Dude, that's sacred. No wonder you blew up." So it's mixed. But at home, I feel like the villain. So, AITA for how I reacted, for refusing to include my dad's new wife in the traditions I shared with my mom, and for the things I said to both of them. Should I be forcing myself to accept this new family the way my dad keeps telling me to? Or am I justified in saying some things are mine and mom's, and they don't get to be rewritten? AITA? Update. Hey everyone, thanks for all the comments and perspectives on my original post. I didn't expect so many people to respond or share their own stories of losing a parent or dealing with step-parents. Reading through them made me cry a few times, but it also made me feel less alone. A lot has happened since I wrote the original post. I show my therapist parts of what I wrote, and she asked if I'd be okay having a joint session with my dad. I was nervous, but we did it. In that session, I was able to explain, without yelling, that it feels like he's erasing mom when he plugs Kelly into every tradition. I said, "It feels like you're taking away the only things that kept her memory alive for me." Hearing it out loud, in front of a professional, seemed to hit him harder than when I just fought with him at home. Dad admitted that he thought including Kelly was honoring mom by continuing traditions, but he hadn't realized how much it felt like replacing her to me. He said he just wanted a united family and thought pushing us together was the best way. He didn't apologize exactly, but he did say he'd try to understand my boundaries better. That's progress, I guess. This was awkward, but important. She admitted she was trying too hard to be mom 2.0 because she was scared I'd never accept her otherwise. She said hearing me say she'd always be less than broke her, but she also gets why I said it. I told her I don't hate her, but I need her to stop inserting herself into things that belong to my mom. I said if she wants her own traditions with me someday, we can talk about that, but she can't take the old ones. She cried again, but she agreed. Pancake Sundays are back to being just me and dad. If Kelly wants, she can start a different food tradition with us on another day, but the last Sunday pancakes are off limits. We will keep doing mom's birthday the old way. No substitutions. I told dad straight up that I will never make the birthday breakfast for Kelly. If he wants to, fine, but that's not my role. Dad isn't thrilled. He said he feels like he's walking on eggshells now and that I'm putting up walls. But at least he's not forcing Kelly into every memory anymore. Kelly has backed off a little, though she still hovers and tries to make small connections. It's awkward, but less suffocating. I still miss my mom every single day. I don't think that will ever go away. But I don't feel like I'm losing her twice anymore, and that's huge. I don't know if I'll ever see Kelly as family, but I can maybe see her as dad's wife who I can coexist with. That's as far as I can go right now, and I'm okay with that. So that's where things stand. It's not perfect, and I know I still need to work on expressing myself without explosions, but at least there are clear boundaries now.